Yo, what up, World 502 King Paul? Coming to y'all with another video, man. So, when I look back on my early smoking days, I try to think, why was it that when I smoked back then, I didn't get addicted to weed? Why is it that when I went to college and I started smoking these other strands of weed, it became more and more addictive for me? Back when I was younger, when I first started smoking, I could smoke and it would be, maybe some months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years until I smoked again. It wasn't something that I had to have every day. It wasn't something that I needed to function in life, man. It just wasn't. And I think about two different things that have changed over time when it came down to weed. Number one is the potency level, for sure. Back in the day, I was younger. All we had was regular weed and purple weed. And people didn't really have perp like that too much back when I was younger, man. Like, you would come across it here and there, but it was something that people did very sparingly on occasion. It was way more expensive to smoke, closer to today's weed prices, but still, like, way higher than today's weed prices when I think about it. And, we just didn't smoke it like that. So most of the time, people are smoking regular weed. And with regular weed, you're not getting as high because the potency is so low. You would get high for a little bit, but we didn't know any difference. High was high for us back then. And then as I got older, like I said, when I went to college, you started coming across all these different strands and different strengths, higher potency level weed. And that's when I started to experience the addiction. That's when I started to experience the anxiety. That's when I started to experience all of the different things I talk about in my videos about, why I had to stop smoking weed. All of the paranoia that came along with it. It's just something that I've noticed that potency has went way, way up. And now you got people that do wax concentrates and all this different stuff. I remember when Keef was a big thing. Keef, the little excess stuff from the grinder, we would take that and put it on top of our blunts. We would save it up over time. Now they have it, you can just buy it at the store. I remember when Moon Rock came out, and it's just weed covered in Keef. And it was just crazy, man, to see how the extreme of potency that we see in the world here now. And then people wonder, well, how come, I'm feeling this way now? How come I feel differently now than what I did when I first started smoking? Well, if you're like me and you smoke for a decade plus, you're not smoking the same weed that you were 10, 11, 12 years ago. If you're older, I've seen some people that commented and said, hey, I've been smoking for 20, 25, 30 years. You've been smoking for that long, the potency has greatly increased. Another thing, man, is the amount of weed that it takes in order for you to get high now is totally different than what it was back in the day. When we first started smoking stronger strands of weed, we would roll up half a gram, maybe a gram at the most, and put it inside of a blunt and smoke it. In today's world, man, especially with the youth, it's became more popular to buy backwoods and take a whole 3.5 grams and stuff it in the backwood, man. And you gotta think, the way I look at it now at this point in my life, the higher that you get, the further you fall. If you start off on normal and then you get high and you're used to just staying high and you stay high all the time, your normal is now going to seem like low. And that was something that I greatly battled with, when I stopped smoking weed, was that it takes a while for your sober mind to be a normal mind. Because once you smoke for so long, your sober mind now becomes like a low mind state. It becomes a low in your life, and you're like, man, I need to smoke just to feel normal. So I battled with that for a while when I stopped. And, I'm so grateful. I'm still on this journey, man. I'm still staying straight-laced. I'm still not smoking. And don't get me wrong, I'm around smoke. I know some people, you have to remove yourself away from it completely. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. I did it for a while, but, I have friends, I have family members that smoke, and, I don't want to stay completely away from them. So I could be around it. I'm around it all the time, and, they smoke, they do their thing, and they just know that that's not something that I do. And honestly, it's to the point now, man, where a lot of them, they cool with it. You know, because they figure, shoot, you know, I don't have to share my weed with this guy. If nothing else, you know, I don't have to smoke with him. I know he's around for legit reasons. He's not around for what he can get, what he can match, so he can smoke my weed, so he can, you know, take up my resources. You know, because it is a resource at the end of the day. You know, it's something that people spent their money on in order to get it, and they know that if I'm around you, it's for a genuine reason. It's not so I can smoke your stash and, you know, use you for your bud, man. But I just want to put out this video. Like I said, again, a lot of the problems that I had, that I experienced later on in life with the anxiety, the paranoia, you know, just having that spiritual battle, I didn't have that in my life until, you know, the years went on, and I think the potency increased, which, you know, I feel for the people who are coming in right now, because that's your baseline high. You know, I knew that I was getting way too high when, you know, I started, because I have something to compare it to. I have that regular weed to compare it to, my early days smoking to compare it to. These young people that's coming in smoking weed now, you know, they coming in smoking the highest potency strands. They coming in smoking 3.5s in the backwood. So, you know, just some motivation, man, inspiration. I realize not everybody's in the same place in life. Not everybody's in the same place in their journey to sobriety, man. But I do want to heavily encourage each and every person that's watching this video, man. Try it out. Truly try it out, man. Watch how your life increases. Watch how your money increases. Watch how opportunities open up, how relationships start to shift and change in your life. Because you just really don't realize what you're holding yourself back from until you see the other side, man. You know, it's like riding in coach on the airplane, right? And you've been in coach your whole life and you never saw first class, so you don't know what you're missing because you've never been over on that side. You know, you don't know what you're missing because you never tried to get over to the other side. But if you take a moment, man, and just try to peep that other side of life, see how it works out for you. It may not be a cup of tea. I understand that. This journey is not for everybody. It's what works for me personally. I don't judge anybody. If that's what you choose to do, you choose to smoke, you choose to indulge. But what I will tell you from a straight, you know, just being honest with y'all, what I will tell y'all is that, you know, my life not smoking weed is much, much better than my life back when I was smoking weed, man. I've just seen so many different aspects of my life improve, from my physical health, my appearance, my mental awareness, you know, which is, you need it in today's world, man. Your mental awareness, you got to be on point. You know, your spiritual, your emotional, all of it, man. It takes a big turn, you know. And I come from a generation where we never really glorified the drug addicts. You know, early on in life, it was cool for you to be a hustler. You want to be a hustler. I'm not saying you had to sell drugs, but even that was more accepted than being an addict to anything, not just weed. You know, we looked at being a weed head just the same as being a pill head or anything else, man. And, you know, I'm not saying it's all the same, but I'm just saying that the mentality switch has changed greatly to where now we're glorifying those who do drugs in general, not just weed. We're glorifying those who do drugs in general. That's how the media has shifted us now, from the drug commercials that we see on TV that's encouraging you to take these different drugs that you may not even need. Not saying that everybody doesn't need medication, but some of these medications you don't need, man. You know, some of this stuff you just don't need. You know, I just want to put out this video, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think about the increase in potency of weed. Have you noticed that as the weed potency has increased, that the effects that it has on you psychologically, emotionally, has changed as well? I'm just curious to see what y'all point of view is on that. And if you like anything about this video, you like anything about this channel, the message that I'm putting out to this world, man, just take a moment, go down below, like the video. It helps out greatly. Get this out to as many people as possible, to affect as many people's lives in a positive way as possible, man. It's 502 King Paul. I love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out.